No sound. Type of one if you guys can hear me now. All right, yeah. I don't know. I was meeting with somebody yesterday and then for some reason my mic was not working. I don't know why. But well, laptop mic is. So all right, we're back. We're back. We got the beginning of December, so we'll see if this rally wants to continue through December. We'll see what happens. If you guys have audio issues where I stop talking, throw that into the chat pane. But right now, I just switched over to kind of the computer mic, so I apologize if it sounds not good. We'll see. Otherwise, yeah, not much development. Strong close to Friday. Let's start looking at some of the monthly candles. Beast mode of a candle, definitely a sign that there's still momentum. Hardly any wick. Nice strong close into the like we said, Friday into the end of the week, into the month, and we get to start again. So now the question is, I think we're still bullish. I don't really want to throw the bullish hat away. I don't want to do that. It's too valuable. It's too valuable to keep it. But can we get a retest halfway through this month? And yeah, maybe today we start pushing bullish. The momentum just continues. We'll see. Otherwise, I think somewhere around like this 588 would be at least a halfway retest of yesterday's last month's candle. Let's check out the weekly real quick. Weekly looks like it still wants to continue up higher. So maybe we don't get that retest early in the month. Maybe rather that comes a little later. Somebody was asking me, they shot me a text, a friend of mine who trades. And they're like, yeah, what about like, how people sell at the end of like toward December, end of December for tax purposes? I'm like, yeah, but that's for tax harvesting purposes. Usually, if you're down on positions, then you'll sell. There's not a lot down from the beginning of this year. So it doesn't make sense. To some extent, there's definitely some stocks that will qualify where some people might want to just lock in some losses just to kind of balance out some of the gains. But if you're going to sell your stocks now in December, that's going to count on your 2024 taxes, and that's going to increase that tax bill a little bit. So you might have people holding through this into January, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But a little bit different than tax harvesting. Some of the names, maybe some Intels could get beat up a little bit. Some names that just kind of had a rough 2024, some energy stocks names, things like that. People might be actively looking to take some losses. You might see some downward pressure in those, but honestly, if someone's been running, it's tough to. If you're looking at the economy, you're hopeful for new presidency, you're hopeful new administration. There's less regulations. The momentum in the market is crazy, so it doesn't really make too much sense to sell some of these. And then even if you do, now you're locking in for more taxes. So that might keep us alive through December. We'll see how this month wants to play out, but good weekly close. Again, could we come back for a retest? I think if we do, $600.14 would be, at least on a weekly chart, a decent pullback spot where some bulls might be hopping in. So weekly looks good, monthly looks good. It's more of, do we get retest than as opposed to, is this rally over, for me at least. Uh, Looking at today's chart on the daily for SPY, not really much movement. We are somehow still gapping up. We were down a little bit ago, but we've managed to push up about 11 cents higher than where we closed. Still inside Friday's candle. We do have Friday's VPOC. That's going to be sitting at 602.42. So see if we have a little bit of support there. If that breaks, we do have a little bit more ways to go, which would take us into that roughly 600 zone that we talked about. So there's nothing really holding us back if we end up breaking down. So this opening is going to be very important for the market, but we will see. We will see if we want to get some retest anywhere in this market. I don't know. I don't know. Georgia says SMCI announced completion of their independent review. Did that just pop off now? There was also Intel news today too that came out. Yeah, look at that. Uh, do we have results from the review, or is it just we finished the review? This company's a disaster. Looks like at least you got some positivity at least. So maybe some hopeful people in that one. You are opening into a resistance. Definitely beautiful gap and go from Friday. You have a good gap and go taking out Thursday's candle and most of Wednesday's, but you do have one little resistance on this one, so I'd be cautious on the bull side up till we'll call it $37. Anything past 37, we got some room up to about $40.45. If not, 41.55 would be my stretch target. But let's put that one higher on the list. We'll keep a watch for it when the market's open. Qs, we'll cover Qs real quick. Qs, stronger gap than we have on. So tech is starting to rally a little bit. Interesting. That might be a little bit due to the likes of Tesla. Maybe that SMCI kind of helped it a little bit, but you have the Qs, pretty good. It is a retest gap. So if we do fall down, the bigger support I'm looking for is 509.72. And then I'm looking at one little support. Maybe if we get a small retest, and this is a decent rally today, we got 510.65 holding us up. That one's close. We'll see where we open on that one. But if we can stay above 510.65, next immediate spot will take us to 512.31. And then I think a bigger target today would be 513.23. So definitely some good upside. This is a retest gap. Anybody that came in from at least the opening of this candle from November 25th, they might be a little bit trapped. Some people may be hoping that there was a double top here. With that close on Friday, that tells me that we are going up higher, just looking at the VPOX. But maybe out of the gate we get that little bit of a pullback. If we get a small one, I'm ready to go bullish, though. That looks good. Let's take a look at INTC. So they had a new, or they don't have a new CEO, I guess they have a new interim CEO, but the last CEO, he's out. So he retired, and the stock is putting in quite the little pivot. Probably not a good feeling if you're him. You work your entire life. You're like, yeah, I'm killing it at my job, and you leave, and the stock's like, get out of here. But yeah, good gap on this one. You do have also resistance, kind of like SMCI. You got $25.07. So watch some of those resistance, at least on some of those storage stocks for today. We'll get Intel up here too, just because I think there's probably a decent amount of eyeballs. This one is opening above the 100 EMA though, so maybe we could use that 100 EMA support somewhere around 24.96. If that starts to break, immediately looking for like 24.84, but I think I'd rather see if we can get a pullback to like 24.57-ish as a much better opportunity for a long. But anything above, I think if we start breaking out of 25.08, I'd be ready to go long on this one too. You got a lot of room up to 26.17, so quite the path ahead if we could get through it. Let's see, we got Amazon, Marvell, and Square. Amazon. Square, I think, had an upgrade. I'm not sure if Amazon did sector updates because we have Cyber Monday today. Black Friday, I think, from what I heard, reports were pretty decent. It did sound like, although I saw one article that said if you live in a red state, you're spending more on Black Friday. If you're sitting in a blue state, you're probably spending less. Was the article I read over the weekend, so who knows? But you do have Amazon. Good gap on this one. Again, it is a retest, but you're clearing a lot of pivots on this one. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to see if there's a high wave candle on this one. I'm going to see if there's a little high wave candle. Right out of the gate, you do have a little bit more risk reward, probably to the bear side. But if we get a little high wave candle somewhere around 209.90, and we could get in somewhere above 210, get a smaller intraday setup. The next spot up takes us to 212, so I'm going to need maybe about a dollar of risk to get to about $2.26. Otherwise, if it wants to come down, we could see if I think extended targets to the downside. If this is a bigger retrace, would take us to 206.36. I don't think that hits today. But I would think that there's probably a lot of bulls sitting at 208.33, somewhere around that zone. So if we can, again, we're right at that resistance. So this one's going to depend where it opens, but if we can get that pullback, watch that 208.33 zone. I think that's probably where the bulls are sitting for today. That would get us much better risk to the bullish direction for sure. We got Marvell, MRVL. Then I got to figure out what's going on with that microphone. I don't like it one bit. We got Marvell. Good gap on that one. They got earnings coming out soon too. Tomorrow? Huh. Marvell Technology to supply data center semiconductors under AWS agreement. So news on partnering with Amazon. gapping to all-time highs. Earnings coming tomorrow. I don't know. Again, a lot of these all-time gaps are a little tricky, at least for me. It's tough to fit those in my trading plan. But on a common sense level, if I was in this thing, you have every single person ever profitable that bought this. You definitely could see continuation on earnings. If they're crushing it and out of the park, you can see a good run. But I think I would at least shave a couple shares here if this was me heading into earnings tomorrow. So I think this one probably comes in for a fade. I would look for it. I have zero targets to the higher side, infinity, I guess. But if I could probably look for a fade on this one, target down to like 93, 98. I think that's really the only way I could confidently play it. And we're definitely going against a trend at an all-time high gap. So that's going to be a little tricky for me, I think. Square did get an upgrade, so they're starting to move a little bit. Good gap from 88.55 at close yesterday to sitting right now at 91.77. Depends on if you blink or not. 2 seconds ago was 91.80. But otherwise, yeah, decent gap and go. You're squeezing probably some barrels in this one again. Resistance is not too far away, and that's gonna be my problem today. That's 92.75. Support first one I think is 91.13. A stronger one is $90.63. So I do have more room to the higher side on this one. I don't really want to fight an upgrade, but you're pushing to the top of that last resistance as well. So again, I'll keep an eye on it, but that might have been the move already. That would be my concern on this one. And then we have a lot of room for a breakout. For a swing trade basis, if you're in this thing, it looks pretty phenomenal. Let's even look at the monthly candles on this one. So yeah, we have good, almost inverted head and shoulders. I think going forward for probably the next, I don't know, few months, especially as interest rates continue to come down. And then again, maybe some of the ease in some of the regulations helps it out, but that is a beautiful looking on a monthly chart, inverted head and shoulders. Which I think the next target on this one takes us to roughly 126.35. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And then the question is, where do you buy it? Where can you come in on a weekly basis? Geez. Besides the three bullish candles on a weekly, we're above that 200. You had a little pullback. I guess if you want to take this one, you're really looking for some kind of break, 92.64 or some kind of entry. Otherwise, maybe as close as possible to a retest of this 86.04 zone. I don't think that happens today. But that is an impressive monthly chart. That might be ready to push or continue pushing. We did go from $55. We're almost we're up what, 80%? We'll keep that one higher on the list too. I got RCAT, RCAT. The daily chart looks like the monthly chart on this one. RCAT, yeah, we're starting to hit those parabolic move territory. This is also a retest gap. I'm not gonna be buying it here. Definitely with that momentum, maybe it continues. I don't want to be the one to ruin the party, but I think if you're gonna try this one, you're trying to not look at it for the first 15, 20 minutes just to avoid FOMO, and then you're coming in at $11.33 potentially if you like it. But that is a heck of a move we've already had, so I can't buy that one, and it's a retest gap. Doesn't say the party's actually over. We have plenty of room higher on this one, but I would need a better pricing. I need some profit taking. Not sure if we get that good volume zone right here though. Somewhere in the this is even lower. This is into the, like 970 to 850 zones. So I'd much rather be looking for some kind of retest eventually, and I think it comes. We even had one small one over there. Not bad. Not bad. We got Joe says W Day. W Day is chilling. Nothing too crazy on this one yet. I think a lot of people probably eyeing down this 270 for some kind of a retest. I think you get a bigger resistance, maybe up until like this 259.14, and then I think if that breaks, you'd probably look for that gap fill. But small gap up, still inside day. I think even today, if you like it bullish and you want to try to take a chance, this could be capitulation. Um, I don't know. I don't know if that's really capitulations. We just kind of had a good uptrend. You got a gap down on earnings, good earnings. Survived the 200, closed above it. Small rest day on this one. Lots of volume. I think a longer term basis, your stop probably is going to sit under this 236.87. That's far away for a day trade. I can't make any risk reward out of that one. But again, on a swing trade, maybe if this thing pulls back, you got 250.63. We'll call it 250, and we'll call this 237 as your stop for a swing. I can see that. That's $13 to the till you get stopped out, and then from there 250, you got about $20. So you got about a 1.2 into the bigger resistance if that gap fills for a swing trade. All right, let's do crowd CRWD. Crowdstrike. I'm sure a fib on this one. Fibonacci. Because I kind of like the opening, very sneakily. We pulled down past the 618, so that's not that impressive in terms of momentum. I don't mind this open though. I think having some kind of entry right around probably 345.54. I think your stop. I would probably get it to like 339.56 for a swing trade if you like it bullish. For a day trade purpose, I think we got to get. I think if you get a bounce here, which I think you get, I think we will find a little support. I think we'll find a little support around this 345.64. I don't think we're just making a huge pivot first. I think we probably have to chop around here because we are below that 618. But I think for today, in terms of targets, you're looking for like 347.40. So not a huge move. And you're still kind of dealing with this bigger, almost gap and go. I'm not even going to count that one. I'll count this candle. The fact that we gap below that one, maybe we get some further selling pressure. But and we did get a close right below the 618. Top of this candle is at the 618, so we're using that as some kind of resistance as well. Interesting buy location. I don't know if it's pulled back enough for me to say, hey, I want to be a long-term investor in this one. Maybe that's the right thing to say. I don't know, but this one I think just probably a little more choppy. I think there might be some better setups. Lisa says, how about a Riot, MSTR, and Tessie? So let's talk Tesla first. Interesting. They came out with the FSD 13, I believe Friday, right around the market close. We started to get a good momentum candle. And then after the bell rang, so right at 1 p.m. when the market closed early, we got almost a little bit of follow through. And then I don't think it's available to everybody yet, but from early reports, it seems like people like the new FSD. It's working well. I saw some people saying like, yeah, it could drive in snow and stuff. It could park your car for you. So pretty cool on that. I'll tell you a sympathy play for this one too in a second. But they have a little bit of resistance at open, and you might have some profit taking. We did know. So my brother-in-law, he was telling me, I think it was like last weekend, something like that, maybe early in the week. He's like, yeah, FSD 13 was coming out, and I had no idea, but people knew it was coming out. So I don't think it was the biggest news, and I wonder if it's going to act a little bit more biotech sell-off at open. But I would watch 352.32 if we could sneak above that one. Now let's go a little higher. Let's go 352.50. We start creeping above that. Yeah, I think we'd have to be looking for probably about 360 today. Otherwise, I think there's some chop. There is a little support at 349.82. And maybe some room to kind of retest 344.30. A crazy day would take us down to 340, but it's not unquestionable. So I think I'd be looking at least at open where we're opening at now. You probably have some profit takers coming in. I think this one's more of a fade. I have some calls on this one. I'm debating if I want to sell those. They expire December 20th, but I might look to take some profit at open and try to re-enter, or I'll counter those calls with some puts, probably close to open too if we start getting a little breakdown. Sympathy on it, I think, is ARM. I don't know if it's really gapping or moving yet, but in that FSD13, they are using some ARM technology. So if that is a big thing for Tesla, if people like it, ARM might be a decent almost sympathy. So I would watch this one too today, see if you get any more movement out of it. I believe you have a decent open. It's not bad. We're still inside day, but we're above that Friday gap. I haven't really seen too many people talk about ARM quite yet in relation to Tesla. And then I think you got your next target to like 135.98. Otherwise, stretch target probably 136.81 for day trade purpose. Otherwise, on a swing trade basis, we're still above that 200. You got a nice double bottom, higher lows. Looks to me like we've almost completed a full wave count. We haven't done so already. So not bad, but I'll be watching that one. We'll see what happens. What is FSD? That's their full self-driving. So that's where you hop in the car and just drive itself. So they're releasing newer versions as technology gets better. They got more people out there testing. They got all the AI type situations built into it. So it almost kind of the more people on the road using it, the more it learns, the better it gets. And this is the latest version of the self-driving. Yep. Right. Crypto went a little crazy, especially anything in terms of altcoins over the weekend was going absolutely crazy. Like Sunday night, I was looking, my account would be either like I would check like randomly every 15 minutes, and I'd be either up an extra 1,000 or down an extra 1,000. I'm like, what's happening? But yeah, altcoins were going absolutely nuts. I think they started pulling back a little bit. Bitcoin, I don't believe hit that 100K yet. Not yet, but Riot is kind of chilling for now. Target for today to the bullish side, 12.97. If that could break, I think you got room up to 13.54. To the downside, 12.46. I would see if we could maybe pull back a little bit. So my let's call it 12 real support, probably 12.44. Let's see if this one could drop a little bit. I wouldn't mind jumping in, trying. You have decent support all in the zone, 12.26, 12.32. Last big support, 12.07. If that starts to break, you probably have a bigger look down to 11.24, so I'd be stopped there. But if you get a little bit pullback, make my risk reward a little bit better into that first target. Again, maybe we break it. I don't have any real reason why we should. But if we could, then you have a really nice trade. Otherwise, if I get a 1.2 into 12.96, and I'm not sure I could do it at open for today. MSTR, just a wild beast. Even on Friday, yeah, we got a pretty decent bullish day on Friday for the rest of the market. This one did continue just to kind of get some selling right into a previous support. So a little bit of interest in the buying opportunity on that one because we just buy every day possible. I have one bigger lower support, 356.85. Today we are getting a little bit of a gap and go, still inside the candle. So I don't think we're in jeopardy of hitting that 356.85 today. But we also are starting to build in a decent resistance, somewhere around 401.37, and then the next big one, 404.07. So I think if I was to trade to target to be maybe we get to 403. If we start breaking 403, then let's talk. Then we got 439.81. But again, Bitcoin itself, let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. BTC, USD. But Bitcoin it's not dying. It just hasn't. It's got a big psychological level, 100K. If this thing starts breaking 100K, MSTR goes absolutely nuts again. But for the rampage up, MSTR's already kind of still made its move and probably has to have this little chopville, maybe a little bit bigger pullback, and then go round two. We got the glaring bearish engulfing candle right there. Plenty of volume on it. That's a tough one to take out to the bull side. But even going bearish, unless Bitcoin starts to crater, starts to drop a little bit, it's going to be tough going bearish MSTR. with those moving averages coming in, and the possibility that at any moment when we probably fall asleep, Bitcoin breaks 100K, and then you get a crazy gap on this one. But I don't know if it's low enough for me to get in. Give me some lower levels. That was a good retest of that last kind of breakdown. I'd watch this one. I don't really have a lot of edge on this one for day trade today. At least not yet. Amazon, we did take a look at. Let's see what else we got. Let's take a look real quick at Nvidia. I don't believe it was doing too much. Okay, it started to push a little bit. I like this candle pattern on the daily. Again, I'm also in this one as calls. This is a nice 3-bar reversal. Still inside day. Let's be patient on the open. Let's see if this one pulls back to like 138.30. Yeah, 138.36. If we could capture it somewhere around there, if that holds, fantastic. We got 141.98 as my target on Nvidia. So let's see if we get some follow through finally on that one. But everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons if you have not done so already. And yeah, we'll catch you.